Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 158 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, and it's late in the day. It's already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been on the go all morning, early afternoon. I'll explain a bit more once I get to the end of the video after I've shown you my knitting progress for the week. So, it's cloudy and overcast today. It rained quite a bit earlier this afternoon. It settled down now, but it's still pretty overcast and dark and dreary looking out there right now. So, oh well, what can you do? April showers, May flowers, all that good stuff. And hopefully it'll settle down the pollen. Oy, oy, oy. The pollen is ridiculous. Well, so I have progress on 2 of my whips, and I have a new whip to show you. And I also have a yarn acquisition to show you. If you did not watch the vlogs from this past week, you won't have seen this. If you did watch them, I'm showing you the same thing over again. So my first whip is in a little project bag from Moonstone Dye Works. And these are my April toe-up sort of shorty socks. And I made a goodly amount of progress on them since I saw you last week. Here's where they are now. And for these, I am using my 12-day advent calendar from Orlando Fiber Art. And each of the skeins in the 12-day advent calendar are a 50-gram skein. So they are perfect for my toe-up sort of shorty socks. So when I saw you last week, I was at the point where I was ready to start the heel turn and heel flap. So I got the heel turn, heel flaps done on both, and I've added a handful of rounds. So I will continue working on these until I run out. And I probably don't have a whole lot of the yarn left, so I probably should, I think the leg I usually end up doing about 20 or 25 rounds, then I do a 2x2 ribbing for a little bit until I'm completely out of yarn. Then I do the last couple rounds on the top of the cuff in my contrast color, which is just a basic bare yarn. So those are my April toe-up sort of shorty socks, and they're coming along nicely, and I love this yarn color. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love that color. And I'm really excited to see what the May color is. I do have to make sure I get these done before May rolls around so that I'm ready to open up the little box for May and see what my May socks are going to look like. For now, I don't know what the May socks look like. I have not opened any of the boxes beyond the month that we're in. So they have it lined up the 12 days, so each of the 12 days is one of the months out of the year for me. So that's how I'm dividing up the yarn. So that was my progress on my socks. This is a Fringe Supply, not a field bag, town bag. I think that's what this one was called. But in there I am housing my Rachel top. And this is another one that saw a little bit of progress this past week. And as I've shown you in the past, I am on the front and I am doing just the front part, and I'm going back and forth now. It was in the round until we got to the armhole portion, and that was way back here. I only have one more 8 round lace repeat to do, and then I'm ready for the shoulder and neck shaping portion. So I did a little bit on here. I think I did about 2.5 repeats. So from the marker here up. So this is the Rachel top, and that's a pattern by Veronica Job. And I'm really enjoying working on this, and I'm eager to get it done. I still have the entire back, or the portion on the back from the armhole separation all the way up. I still have to do all of that on the back yet. So on the back, both the front and the back, once you separate for the armholes, it's 10 of the 8-row lace repeats up until when you do the shoulder and neck shaping. And the shoulder and neck shaping is just a handful of short rows just to round it out a little bit. So that's coming along nicely. One more 8-row repeat to finish, and the shaping on the front, and then we're on to the back, and then we're coming down the home stretch and the sleeves. But the sleeves are short, so the sleeves shouldn't take too long. And the sleeves are also plain stockinette, so I don't have to concentrate on what's going on with the lace pattern or any of that stuff for the sleeves. So that's nice. And I also have a new cast on that I started on Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday. And those are the Sock Madness round 4 socks. And those are living in my Fringe Supply field, no, yes, this is the field bag. Fringe Supply field bag, and yeah, this is the field bag. So this is the round 4 socks, and I've made a goodly amount of progress, but not near as much as I would have liked to have, where I would have liked to have been at this point. Such is life. These are called Squaring Off, and it's a pattern by Shuyi Wu. And here is where I am so far. So these I am doing one at a time. I typically like to do mine either 2 at a time or 2 at a time in tandem. But these, you're working with 3 colors, and since I have my yarn, all of my yarn is done in a single cake. When I do 2 at a time in tandem, I typically pull from the inside and the outside of the skein at the same time. But this, with 3 colors and pulling from the inside and outside, I thought I'm just going to end up with a tangled mess. I will probably spend more time untangling my yarn versus knitting. So I opted to do them one at a time. So here's the first one. And it's kind of hard to see, but in all of these little squares, there's another contrast color. Yeah, I think you can see that in there. So the cuff is done, the leg is done. I have done the heel flap and heel turn, and I've got a little bit of a start moving down the foot. So these socks are really fun. They will not fit me. I will never be able to get these over my ankles and onto my leg. That's fine. They will fit somebody. I will find somebody who can wear them. Or they'll just look pretty in my drawer. But these are done in a combination of mosaic knitting and stranded knitting. So you have 2 rounds that you're only working with, in my case, the blue yarn, your main color. And then the next 2 rounds are done using your 2 contrast colors. And so those 2 rounds include some slip stitches that you find in mosaic knitting, but also you're switching back and forth from contrast 1 to contrast 2 over those 2 rounds. And then you do 2 rounds in the blue, which is just straight mosaic with the slip and knit stitches over 2 rounds, and so on. The bottom of the foot is just straight slip stitches and color work with the contrast colors. So the yarns I'm using for this, the dark color, the main color, is a yarn I dyed myself, and it's kind of a navy blue, black, glazed marled look. It's kind of showing up on here. So that's, okay, come back into focus. Ooh, we're real fuzzy now. Come on. Let's focus. Am I back in focus yet? Yeah, there we go. I think we're back in focus now. Maybe I shouldn't try showing things up too close. But that's, glass is gone. My glasses are on the floor. Anyway, so I hope I don't have to see anything again. So that's my main color. And the contrast color, I'm using 2 skeins of, from Webb's, it's the Valley yarn. I think it's Huntington. And the 2 colors, my contrast 1 is blush and contrast 2 is mauve. So I've got a 50-gram skein of each of these, and the dark color, my main color, is 100-gram skein of yarn. The pattern, I believe, called for 80 grams of the main color and 20 and 30 grams of the 2 contrast colors. But I had the 100-gram skein plus I had the 2 50-gram skeins. So the leftovers will get used in whatever. So that is my new cast on. So I'm hoping to get a lot more work on that done this evening and into the next few days, and I'm hoping once I get into a rhythm on doing the foot, that the foot will start getting faster. The leg got a little bit quicker to do once I got the hang of how the different rows worked. And the same will happen as I continue down the foot. It'll also get quicker as I continue down the gusset, and the number of stitches continue to decrease a little bit coming around the foot or coming down the heel. So that's my progress on my knitting, and I'm enjoying it. I still have to work a lot on my color work tension. And I was away the past week, and I only took my 2.25 millimeter needles. In hindsight, I probably should have done the cuff and the heel and probably the toe in a 2.25 millimeter and done the rest of the color work portion. I should have done that in a 2.5 millimeter needle, but I didn't have that with me, so I have to make do with what I have. And I'm not going to do the second one differently because I don't necessarily want to knit a third one. I will make the 2 of them the same size and find somebody that have feet that fit them. So yeah, that's the easiest way to work with that, and I'm fine with that. For me, a lot of knitting is just, I'm a process knitter. I absolutely love the process of knitting. And I'm perfectly happy to knit something that doesn't necessarily fit me, and then I can either give it away or just let it sit there. I'm good with that. My shirt seems crooked. Anyway, and then now here comes the crinkling. So if you did not watch my vlogs, and this I probably would have filmed on Monday or day 1 or day 2, might have been day 1. There was a sale at Hugh Loco, and she has some mystery packs of 50-gram skeins of yarn. And you know how I love my 50-gram skein of yarn. They are perfect for toe-up sort of shorty socks. We have 6 count yarn. We have yarn for 6 sort of shorty socks here. I'll have to come up with a plan for what to do the heels, toes, and cuff in, or again just that little splash of color at the top of the cuff. I suspect I'll probably use the bare yarn again. I think the white will go perfect with all of these. I was going to show you the colors. Give me a second, I gotta go and find my glasses. Success, we got them. So I had said I would film what each of these colors were on the vlog. I didn't do that. So the colors, so again, these are all by Hugh Loco, and they are each her merino sock, and it's an 80-20 superwash merino nylon blend, 200 yards and 50 grams. So this one, the colorway is 1 pot. Mostly pinks with some darker earthy tones, a little pop of orange. Gorgeous. Second one, and with these were a mystery 6-pack. So you got the 6 yarn, or 6 50-gram skeins, but you, oh yeah. Okay, these are both called 1 pot. I'm gonna have to look into that. Maybe that is her leftover random non-colorway, but these 2 are both called 1 pot. Some of the others have different names. This one is also 1 pot. So here is the second skein. So this is in greens and golds. Gorgeous. So again, they're all an 80-20 mix. I love this one. It's in pinks and orange and yellows, and this one's really neat. So that one's also called 1 pot. I'm gonna have to double check that, because maybe that is her kind of mop up, waste no yarn, or waste no dye colorway. I'm not sure. And then the last 3, this one is called Heat Wave. That's also gorgeous. It's in darker oranges and golds with some greens and purples and a whole glorious mix of colors. This one is called Toasted. They're all so gorgeous. This is a really nice autumny kind of color. Browns and golds and rust. And the 6th one is called With a Twist. This one has a lot of greens and golds. These are going to make for a whole bunch of gorgeous sort of shorty socks. I'm so excited for them. I plan on, hopefully this summer, I hope to be able to make it up to Manitoba to visit my mom. And I will be caking up several of those with a skein of bear yarn to have enough to make 2 or 3 pair of socks while I'm traveling and visiting with my mom and my sister. So that's the plan. I'll take some of those. I'll possibly have one of my Advent sort of shorty socks on the go, but I'll also have these guys. And I have a few other 50-gram skeins of yarn. So once Sock Madness is done, I'm going to be kicking it into higher gear with my sort of shorty socks. So I really do, I love knitting the vanilla socks. They're nice and mindless, and they're also perfect for summer knitting as it gets warmer and hotter out and I don't want a large sweater or blanket or anything on my lap and heating me up even hotter than I need to be. So if you didn't watch the vlogs the last 4 of the days this past week, the hubby and I went on a little getaway for 4 nights. We left on Monday, came back on Friday, and we just went down to an area between Hedgesville and Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. It's about 45-50 minute drive from our place, so it's quite close. And there's a place there that have cabin rentals, and it's so nice. Our whole goal was to go there and relax, and we did. I did a lot of knitting. I did a lot of staring off into space and off into the trees and the scenery. We both spent a lot of time blowing our nose and scratching our eyes because the pollen levels were off the chart. I think every tree and plant in West Virginia was in bloom while we were there. The allergies were just something else. Just itchy eyes, stuffy noses, runny noses. And we just sat and relaxed. I went to a cat cafe. It's a cat adoption place. And I had some video footage there as well on one of the days. I think that might have been day 4, the last day I filmed. But we just had a wonderful time. I listened to audiobooks and knit and relaxed. It was good. I also spent a bit of time, I kept up with my work emails and anything work related. I kept on top of that, but I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have a lot of work stuff that had to be done that week. I had no meetings or anything like that, so it was good. Then last night we went out to a banquet for it was connected with my hubby's work. So we went out to this banquet. It was really nice. The food was fantastic. It was in Gettysburg, which is about a 50-minute drive from where we live. So it's quick and easy to get there. As an easy drive, it's almost a straight shot from where we are. It's quite easy to get for us to get to Gettysburg. So we went to that last night, came home, crashed, got some sleep, and then this morning we were up at a decent hour and I had an appointment for a blood donation. I try to go every 4 months to donate blood. I am able to do I donate with the Red Cross because that's the only one that's local to this area where I can donate. So I donate with Red Cross, and they have a type of donation that they call a Power Red. And basically with the Power Red donation, what they do is you're hooked up to a machine and they will pull off a pint of blood. They separate out the red blood cells and the plasma, and they keep the red blood cells and they return the plasma to you along with additional saline. So they take off 1 pint, then it's all hooked up onto one arm and 1 needle. So they do draw once, return the plasma and extra saline, and then they start over and they take a second pint again, separate out the plasma and the red blood cells, keep the red blood cells and that stuff, and return the plasma with saline back to you. Doing that takes about, with the intake time, it takes about 45 minutes, so it is slower than a regular, what they call a whole blood donation, but you're able to, your blood is able to go farther and do more when it's a power red donation. And you have to hit certain criteria to do a power red donation. You need to be over the age of 18. You need to be over 5'6" or taller. You have to be over 150 pounds. So my height, I'm fine. I'm 5'6", and my weight, I'm definitely clear the 150-pound mark. I probably haven't weighed 150 pounds since sometime in junior high or middle school. So I weighed a little bit more than 150 in high school. So I clear that easy peasy. You also have to have, there's only 2 or 3 types of blood that they want. Or is it only 2? Type O, either positive or negative. And I think it's A negative is the other one they want. Either which way, my blood type is O positive. So it's, and again, the most common blood type. So, and the most usable blood type. They can give it to anyone except someone who's negative. But, so they want, I have type O positive blood, so they want, that's one of the very popular blood types that they want. And the other thing they need to have for you to be able to do a power red is you have to have a higher level of hemoglobin, or the iron in your blood. And my hemoglobin levels, ever since, as long as I can remember, have always been on the high end of normal. It's not anything that my doctors are worried about, but my hemoglobin is always on the upper end of the range for hemoglobin in women. So it has, I can't remember the exact measurements, but I'm almost always easily within that range. So it's almost never a problem for me to be able to do the power red donation. Since you're doing a double donation, you can only go half as many times. Typically, people that do a regular donation can go once every 2 months. With the power red donation, you can only go once every 4 months. So I'm only able to go 3 times a year, which is a benefit because you don't have to book as much time to go and do it. So I only go in 3 times a year to get the donations done. So as opposed to going 6 times a year. So I find it more convenient to be able to do it that way. And I have no problems doing a power red donation. Some people get a funny taste in their mouth when they do the return of the plasma. Some people don't, their bodies don't like it. And I also have, they never have problem. The phlebotomist that was working with me today, I made the fist and he's like, oh yeah, there you go. This is like easy to find a vein on especially on my left arm. I've never had trouble with them finding a vein ever for doing blood donations. Part of that is probably because I make sure I'm well hydrated when I go. I drink extra water before I go. You're supposed to drink extra water after you're finished for the next day or 2 afterwards to get extra fluids. So I just make a point of getting in an extra 2 or 3 big glasses of water each day. And so I have no troubles. I react fine to doing the power red donation. I do find I'm a little bit pooped later in the day. So today after the donation, my appointment was at 10 o'clock this morning. So after it was done, we had a couple errands to run, and then we went out for lunch. And after that, we had to go to the church because the hubby had to get a few things done before church tomorrow morning. So we went and got that done. By the time we were going home, I'm just like, I'm fading. So we got home about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I crawled onto the recliner, got one of my little Afghans, snuggled under that, and I was out like a light for about an hour and a half. Completely zonked out. I woke up about 4:30. So that's why I'm a little bit later. I was planning on filming this a little bit earlier today, but I honestly don't think I could have formed a coherent sentence for you. Maybe I'm not doing so right now either. I don't know. But the nap was in order today. So that's all good. So this evening, I think we're just going to watch a movie, and I'll keep working on my squaring off socks and hope to get a good chunk of the way down the foot today. And I hope to get those done. Nobody on my team has finished yet, although there are quite a few people on other teams that are finished. So I'm hoping to make it through round 4 and into round 5. I've never gone beyond round 5. Round 5 has always been the round that if I go far, that's as far as I get, and I get eliminated that round. And so we shall see. 15 people on each team will make it through to round 5. So we shall see. Tomorrow is busy. I won't have too much time to knit in the morning tomorrow with church. I will take my knitting, but I don't often get a lot done. I might take my sort of shorty socks just because they're mindless and I can just knit and pay attention to what's going on. And I think that's what I will take with me in the morning. And I'll get some done in the afternoon, but then I also have time that I need to spend making sure I've got my course materials and everything all prepped and set and ready to go for actually the last week of classes this semester are coming up. So I have a bit of grading I need to get done tomorrow afternoon. I was thinking maybe I'll do it today, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'm a little bit too fuzzy I'm a little bit on the tired side right now, so that can wait till tomorrow. But then I'm hoping Monday and Tuesday I can get some serious time in. I don't have any other commitments during the day, especially if I get my grading done tomorrow. Then I won't feel guilty spending Monday, Tuesday really working hard on those socks. We shall see. But I really am hoping I qualify. I really am hoping I am within the first 15 on my team to get across the line. Worst case scenario, if I don't, it's not the end of the world. I've got a nice pair of socks to give away to somebody. So that's all good. But on that note, I think I shall let you go. I don't think there was anything else I was going to tell you about. We have nothing major planned for the week coming up. Oh, that's what else I was going to tell you about. There was a fiber festival in Frederick, Maryland today, and I was hoping to go to that, but the energy, and I didn't want to push it. I've done that before. After I've done a blood donation, I pushed it and I'm just zonked. I'm just wiped. They do tell you to take it easy and not overdo things for a little while, like the first day or so afterwards. So I have in the past, one time I donated and we went and checked out a whole pile of yard sales. And by the time we got home about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was just done. I was so tired. I didn't feel well. I was just so wiped. So we skipped going to the Fiber Festival in Frederick today. Kind of disappointed because I really did want to go. We went to the one in the fall. They do it twice a year. So I was there about 6 months ago, and I will definitely try to get there the next fall. And yeah, I will try to get there next fall. But so that was the other thing I was going to tell you about. I had hoped to make it to the Fiber Festival today, but I didn't have the energy. And we were driving home, my husband's just like, we were talking about something, and he said something or other about a friend was going to be visiting with this person. And I'm like, who is that again? I said, I've heard the name, but I'm drawing a blank. And he's like, we just he said, it's a good thing you're not going to that Fiber Festival. He says, you need to go home and have a nap, because we just talked about that 2 hours ago. And then he said it was this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, got it. But I completely blanked on what it was who this person was. And when we had just talked about it, I don't even think it was 2 hours earlier. So I was a little bit on the tired side. So it's, like I said, it's probably a good thing we did not go to the Fiber Festival. Sad, but I'll go next time. And I'm also disappointed that I won't be able to make it to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. I've been once several years ago, but it always falls on the same weekend as graduation on campus. And that is one of the events during the year that is pretty much you must be there. It's as many faculty and staff as possible, especially the faculty, it's really appreciated. The more of us that are there, the better for all of our students that are graduating. So that's one of the campus events over the year that I really don't want to miss. And the Maryland Sheep and Wool falls on the same weekend, always. So, and it's hard to go on a Sunday because my husband's a pastor and we've got church, all that stuff. And then I can't go on the Saturday because I have to go to graduation, which takes the better part of the morning, and we're not done till it just doesn't work. So 1 year I'll be able to go to that again. Maybe not till I retire, but I am kind of disappointed that I won't be able to get there again this year. But again, it always falls graduation weekend, so what can I do but pout? So I'll wait and I'll go to the Fiber Festival in Frederick again in the fall. I went last fall, it was wonderful. And I'm certain that it was wonderful today as well. I hope the weather cooperated. We had rain here. I'm hoping they had better weather down there as well. But I don't know. So anyways, I'll stop talking now. For real. And I'll get the editing done on this and then go see what the hubby's up to and pick out a movie to watch this evening so I can get back to my knitting. Alrighty, take it easy everyone, and I will see you guys again in a week. Bye.